You want a man to value you, respect you, and treat you the way you deserve. You can't just hope for it. You have to set the tone, and that tone is built on boundaries. Boundaries are not walls, they're the rules of engagement. They're how you teach someone what's acceptable and what's not. And the truth is, when a woman knows how to set powerful boundaries, men don't just notice, they respect it. Because deep down, respect is born out of clarity and consistency. So let's talk about 5 powerful boundaries that shift the way a man sees you and make him value you more than words ever could. Respecting your time is one of the clearest ways to set a boundary that makes a man see your value. Time is the one thing you never get back, and how you choose to spend it reflects how much you respect yourself. When you guard your time, you're not being difficult, you're being intentional. If someone shows up late to meet you, cancels at the last minute without a real reason, or treats your schedule like it's flexible only when it benefits them, that's not just a small inconvenience. That's them telling you, without words, how much they value your presence. And when you let it slide repeatedly, you're silently teaching them that your time is negotiable. The truth is, it's not. When a man sees that you won't rearrange your life for his inconsistency, he realizes that your time is valuable, and valuable time belongs to someone valuable. This is why protecting your schedule, your commitments, and your energy communicates respect louder than anything you could say. Think about it. When you're always available, always ready to drop everything the moment someone calls, what message does that send? It says that you don't have a life of your own that's worth prioritizing. And people, whether they admit it or not, tend to take for granted what's too easy to access. Boundaries with time create a healthy space where a man has to show up, has to be intentional, has to earn that spot on your calendar. You're not being rude by expecting someone to be on time. You're showing that you live with purpose and direction. People respect what they have to work for, and when he knows he can't waste your time without consequences, he begins to show up differently. Respecting your time also means you don't invest it in endless conversations that go nowhere, situations that stay stuck, or relationships that don't grow. You stop giving hours of your day to people who drain you instead of build you. You recognize that your time is your life in pieces, and every moment you give to someone is a piece of your life you'll never get back. When a man understands that you won't give him endless chances to take you for granted, it forces him to step up or step out. Either way, you win because your time isn't being wasted. There's another layer to this too. Protecting your time is not just about saying no to him, it's about saying yes to yourself. It's choosing to spend your time on things that align with your goals, your health, your passions, your peace. It's carving out space for your growth, your friendships, your rest. And when a man sees that you have a full life outside of him, that you're not waiting by the phone, that you're not living on standby for his attention, he begins to value his place in your life more. He realizes he's not the center of your world, and that's exactly what makes you magnetic. A man who values his own time will recognize and respect a woman who values hers. And a man who doesn't value his own time will feel uncomfortable when you value yours because it exposes his lack of discipline. That discomfort isn't your problem. That's his. You're not here to lower your standards to make someone else feel better about wasting your life. You're here to set the tone that if someone wants access to your time, they need to treat it like the privilege it is. When you walk away from people who don't honor your time, you're not being dramatic, you're being wise. And when a man experiences that firmness, he learns quickly that your time is something he doesn't want to lose. Respecting your emotions is one of the strongest boundaries you can ever set because it directly communicates that your inner world matters. Too often people are taught to hide, minimize, or silence what they feel, and that conditioning makes it easy for others to dismiss emotions with phrases like, "You're overreacting," "You're too sensitive," or "It's not a big deal." But when you decide that your emotions have weight, you stop letting anyone convince you otherwise. Your emotions are signals, they are information, they are your body and mind telling you what feels safe, what feels wrong, what feels joyful, and what feels painful. Ignoring those signals doesn't make you stronger, it makes you disconnected from yourself. And when you are disconnected from yourself, it becomes easy for others to take advantage of that gap. A man will respect you more when he realizes you will not allow him or anyone else to trivialize what you feel. This is not about being dramatic or using emotions to manipulate situations. It's about owning your truth. When something hurts you and you say it clearly without apology, you are showing a man that your feelings matter. When something makes you happy and you express that openly, you are showing that your joy is also valid. Respecting your emotions means you stop apologizing for being human. You stop shrinking just to make other people more comfortable. You stop letting someone else define what is an appropriate reaction to your own experience. Every time you dismiss your emotions to keep the peace, you teach someone that peace is more important than your truth. And while it may buy temporary harmony, it slowly erodes your sense of self. Boundaries are not just about what others do to you, they're about what you allow within yourself. So when you set the boundary that your emotions are real and deserve to be acknowledged, you are building a foundation of self-respect that cannot be shaken. A man will notice this because clarity stands out. If he knows you will speak up when something feels wrong, he knows he cannot walk over your boundaries without being held accountable. It also means you become very intentional about who you share your emotions with. Not everyone deserves access to your most vulnerable feelings. Respecting your emotions is choosing carefully where you place your heart. If a man mocks, belittles, or uses your feelings against you, that is a clear sign that he is not a safe place. You don't try harder to convince him of your worth, you pull back and protect yourself. Because once someone realizes they can get away with ignoring your feelings, they will do it again. But if you show early on that dismissiveness is a deal breaker, you filter out the people who cannot handle the responsibility of being in your life. There's also a deeper layer here about self-validation. You can't always wait for someone else to understand or agree with your feelings. Respecting your emotions means you give yourself permission to feel without waiting for external approval. You know when you are hurt, you know when you are excited, you know when you are angry, and you don't need someone else to tell you it's okay. When you own your emotions with that level of confidence, you are teaching others to respond in kind. You set the tone by saying, "This is my truth, you don't have to like it, but you will not dismiss it." That kind of certainty commands respect. Men are drawn to women who are grounded in themselves, and being grounded means you are not ashamed of what you feel. It doesn't mean you never cry. It doesn't mean you never get upset. It means you don't feel guilty for having emotions in the first place. That balance of strength and openness is powerful because it makes you unshakable. A man sees that he cannot manipulate you by making you doubt your feelings because you already know your emotions are valid. And when he sees that, he begins to understand that being close to you requires a level of respect that not everyone can give. Respecting your body is one of the most powerful boundaries you can ever put in place because it communicates without words that your physical presence, your personal space, and your intimacy are privileges, not guarantees. Too many times people compromise on this boundary out of fear of being left, fear of being judged, or fear of losing someone's interest. But the reality is, the moment you give up control of your body to meet someone else's expectations, you send a message that your worth can be negotiated. Your body is the house you live in every single day. It is your most valuable possession, and how you protect it teaches others how they are allowed to treat it. When you say no to unwanted touch, when you set limits on intimacy, when you guard your physical space, you are not being difficult, you are setting the standard for how you expect to be valued. A man will respect you more when he sees that you will not trade your comfort for his convenience. If he pressures you, pushes your boundaries, or tries to convince you that your limits are unreasonable, that is not love, that is control. Respecting your body means you listen to your own comfort level and trust it. You do not allow anyone to tell you that you owe them physical access, whether it's a touch, a kiss, or anything more. Your body belongs to you, and when you hold it with that kind of authority, you force others to either honor it or remove themselves. That strength is what makes someone take you seriously. There is also a confidence that comes with protecting your body. It tells people that you know your worth is not defined by how quickly you give access to it. It says you understand that intimacy has more meaning when it's connected to respect, trust, and real care, not just desire. A man who truly values you will never make you feel guilty for protecting your body. In fact, he will admire it because it shows him you have self-respect, discipline, and clarity about what you deserve. A man who only wanted you for physical reasons will walk away when you set this boundary, and that is not your loss, that is your protection working in your favor. Respecting your body also includes taking care of it in ways that others may overlook. The way you rest, the way you nourish yourself, the way you carry yourself all speak volumes about how you value what is yours. When you carry yourself with dignity, when you dress in a way that aligns with your own confidence instead of someone else's expectations, when you walk into a room and own your presence without shrinking, you are telling the world your body is not here for consumption. It is here for respect. A man notices this. He notices when you are not desperate for validation, when you are not seeking approval by sacrificing comfort, when you are grounded in the reality that you are already enough without proving it through your body. Boundaries around your body also include your personal space. It's the way you stand firm when someone tries to invade it without permission. It's the way you move a hand off your shoulder when it's unwanted. It's the way you lean back instead of forward when someone assumes they can come closer without asking. These small actions speak louder than words. They say, I am aware, I am in control, I am not afraid to create space where I need it. And that kind of presence makes people think twice before they cross a line. When you treat your body like something sacred, you set a tone that others must follow. The world often tries to convince women that their value is tied to how much of their body they reveal or how quickly they give access. But when you step outside of that narrative and hold your own standard, you separate yourself from the noise. A man sees immediately that you are not like everyone else because you will not compromise your physical boundaries just to keep attention. That separation makes you stand out, and it demands a level of respect that cannot be faked. Respecting your words is about understanding the weight of what you say and refusing to treat your own voice like it doesn't matter. Too many times people make promises just to smooth things over, say yes when they mean no, or backtrack on their boundaries just to keep someone happy. But every time you do that, you chip away at your own credibility. When you speak but don't follow through, you are teaching others that your words carry no real authority. And when people sense that your words don't hold weight, they stop respecting them. Respecting your words means you choose them carefully, you mean them fully, and you don't water them down just to avoid discomfort. A man pays attention to consistency. If you say one thing and do another, he will learn quickly that your voice doesn't align with your actions. But if you say what you mean and mean what you say, it becomes impossible for him to ignore the power behind your communication. There is strength in being clear. When you say no and you hold it, you're teaching others that your boundaries are not negotiable. When you say yes and you follow through, you're showing that your commitments matter. A man respects a woman who doesn't play games with her words because it shows integrity. Respecting your words also means you don't speak carelessly just to fill silence or to gain approval. You understand that your words represent you, and once spoken, they cannot be taken back. They shape how others view you and how they treat you. If you're constantly apologizing for expressing yourself, constantly downplaying your thoughts to avoid seeming too much, you're shrinking your own voice. The boundary here is refusing to apologize for existing in full expression. A man will value you more when he sees that your words are steady and trustworthy. He learns that when you speak, you are serious, and that seriousness creates respect. This doesn't mean you have to be harsh or unkind. It means you have to be honest and consistent. If you don't like something, you say it. If you expect something, you communicate it. If you commit to something, you deliver on it. That type of alignment creates trust, and trust is the foundation of respect. People respect those who live in alignment, not those who bend their words to fit whatever the situation demands. There's also a confidence that comes with owning your words. When you speak with certainty, when you don't second guess yourself out loud, when you don't dilute your truth with nervous laughter or endless explanations, you send the message that your words deserve to stand on their own. A man picks up on that quickly. He knows when your words carry confidence, and it makes him lean in, listen more closely, and take you more seriously. Respecting your words is about refusing to let them lose their value, because once your words lose value, so does the way others treat you. Respecting your words also means you don't allow anyone else to twist them. If someone tries to tell you that you said something you didn't, if they try to put words in your mouth or minimize what you expressed, you hold firm. You know what you said, and you don't let anyone rewrite it. This is how you maintain control of your own narrative. Too many times people let others define their words for them, and it creates confusion. But when you protect your voice, when you clarify and correct without hesitation, you are showing that you take yourself seriously. That seriousness commands others to do the same. The way you respect your words also reflects the way you respect your own mind. You trust that your thoughts matter enough to be spoken, and you don't silence yourself because someone else might not like it. When you give your words weight, a man begins to realize that being close to you means he has to listen, he has to pay attention, he has to take into account what you say. This creates a natural shift in the way he engages with you because he knows your words are not empty, they are not careless, they are not spoken without meaning. He knows that if you said it, it matters. Respecting your standards is the boundary that separates people who are serious about you from people who only want convenience. And it is one of the clearest ways to teach a man how to value you. Standards are not rules you make up to sound strong. They are the non-negotiables that define what you will and will not accept. They are the bar you set for yourself, and anyone who wants to be close to you must rise to meet it. When you lower your standards to keep someone, you are teaching them that your values are flexible, and the moment they realize they can convince you to drop the bar, they stop putting in effort. A man will only work as hard as he needs to in order to stay. And if you make it easy by sacrificing your standards, you are showing him that your self-worth is tied to his presence instead of your principles. The truth is, people respect what they have to earn. If you set a standard that you expect honesty, consistency, effort, and respect, and you hold that line without wavering, a man learns that the only way to stay in your life is to live up to that standard. This doesn't mean you demand perfection. It means you demand alignment with your values. It means you refuse to settle for crumbs when you deserve the whole meal. Lowering your standards may feel like a shortcut to keeping someone interested, but in reality, it creates resentment, disappointment, and a pattern where you accept less than you deserve. Holding your standards forces people to show their true intentions quickly. If they can't meet them, they'll leave. If they can, they'll rise. Either way, you win, because you are not wasting your life on someone who has no desire to respect what you require. Respecting your standards also requires patience because it means waiting for the right fit instead of rushing into something just to fill a void. It means you'd rather be alone than with someone who drains you, manipulates you, or fails to give the effort you deserve. That kind of patience communicates confidence because it says you know your worth without needing instant validation. A man notices this. He notices when you are not desperate, when you are not clinging to attention, when you are not willing to compromise your values for temporary comfort. That awareness makes him value you more because he knows your standards are not just words, they are the way you live. There is also a deep sense of security that comes from standing by your standards. It tells the world that you are not confused about who you are or what you deserve. A woman who respects her standards does not fall for empty promises because she measures actions against what she values. She does not get swept up in charm that lacks consistency because she knows charm without substance does not meet the standard. She does not hold on to potential because she understands that potential is not the same as reality. That kind of clarity is rare, and it makes a man understand quickly that if he wants to be in your life, he has to bring more than just words. He has to bring alignment with the values you refuse to compromise on. It also creates self discipline. Respecting your standards means you keep yourself accountable as much as you hold others accountable. If you say you value honesty, you practice it yourself. If you say you value respect, you model it in the way you treat others. If you say you value growth, you invest in your own growth too. That integrity reinforces your authority because no one can accuse you of asking for what you are not willing to give. When you live by the same standards you expect, it becomes undeniable that you are someone worth respecting. A man may test your standards, he may push against them to see if you'll bend, but the moment you stand firm, the game changes. He realizes you cannot be manipulated with sweet words or temporary effort because you are anchored in something deeper than attention. You are anchored in your worth. And once a man recognizes that, he either adjusts to meet your level or removes himself entirely. Both outcomes are in your favor because your standards act as a filter that only allows respect to pass through.